How do you sum up what we've seen so far from you guys?
As a team, I feel like we've gone really well over the first 3 seasons. As you mentioned there, we've got to the final twice. Unfortunately, couldn't quite get over the line both times, but I feel that the style of cricket that we play is an aggressive form of cricket. I believe as a franchise we operate really well from top, so all the way down, in all the variety of departments, off-field and on-field stuff. Very well run by our CEO Phil Oliver and Director of Cricket Tom Moody. We pride a lot of ourselves on our environment and our culture. And whilst there's no guarantee that's going to breed success, but we feel it's going to give us the best chance.
And as far as there's no Hasranga for you guys this year, how much of his absence will it impact, and how much will Noor Ahmed bring into the composition?
Firstly, Has has been incredible for us for 3 years. Been a real rock for us. He makes things happen. He's a real match winner, not just with the ball. Obviously, that's his. In theory, his primary skill, but also his batting and his fielding. He's been top class for us. Still hoping that he might be able to sort of join us towards the back end.
This will also be a season where you will be playing through Christmas, through New Year's. How do you sort of keep everyone going to not just go for the fancy desserts and everything? Because it's right there.
Yeah. Christmas is a great period, for a lot of periods. So we'll be gelling together, but also giving guys a little bit of their own time as well, their own downtime, because a lot of people bring their families during that time. So it's going to be new for us, and we haven't had that during this Christmas period, but something that we'll be looking forward to, and I'm pretty sure there'll be a few people dressed up.
Hi James, thank you for joining us on TOI. You're obviously the coach of the Desert Vipers in the ILT20 league. There have been 2 runner-up finishes in the 3 seasons. How do you sum up what we've seen so far from you guys?
As a team, I feel like we've gone really well over the first 3 seasons. As you mentioned there, we've got to the final twice. Unfortunately, couldn't quite get over the line both times, but I feel that the style of cricket that we play is an aggressive form of cricket. I believe as a franchise we operate really well from top, so all the way down, in all the variety of departments, off-field and on-field stuff. It's very well run by our CEO Phil Oliver and Director of Cricket Tom Moody. We pride a lot of ourselves on our environment and our culture. And whilst there's no guarantee that's going to breed success, but we feel it's going to give us the best chance. A big part of our recruitment process, as always, is selecting obviously wonderful players, but also good people. And I feel we've done that for the first 3 years.
Yeah, can you also talk about, the last 3 seasons, are you sort of like a glass half full or a glass half empty sort of a person in terms of how do you see it? How do you motivate the squad after such?
I'm not sure it's necessarily one of those 2 options. I like to operate in a fairly relaxed environment. As I mentioned earlier, I like to have fun. I always want this to be a really enjoyable experience for everyone involved for the 4 or 5 weeks of the competition. I believe that if you're enjoying yourself, there's a better chance of performing well individually and collectively. And that's something that we work very hard on as a franchise, is trying to create a really good environment.
Moving on to the next season, moving on to your auction approach and strategy. Were you looking at specific things when you went into the auction, specific set of players?
Yeah, we retained a good core for last season, which we were absolutely delighted with. Obviously with Lockie Ferguson, our captain, and then it was really going in particular to find that sort of lower order player, someone that we've got in Hassan Nawaz. Very talented young Pakistan player, someone that we believe's got a very high ceiling, a very young player, fairly fresh in the game, but we're really excited to see what he can achieve with the lights, with the power of of Hetty with Hetmeyer, who's new to us this season as well, and Dan Lawrence, with that sort of powerhouse middle to lower order.
And as far as there's no Hasranga for you guys this year, who's been sort of like an omnipresent option for you. How much of his absence will it impact, and how much will Noor Ahmed bring into the composition?
Firstly, Hass has been incredible for us for 3 years, been a real rock for us. He makes things happen, is a real match winner, not just with the ball, obviously that's his in theory his primary skill, but also his batting and his fielding. He's been top class for us. Still hoping that he might be able to sort of join us towards the back end, because obviously he would have been there at the start, but then there was Sri Lankan League that came around. In his replacement, we've got Noor Ahmed, someone who I've not worked with personally before, but being in teams against him, I've always been super impressed with the way how he goes about his business. I mean, he's a young left arm wrist spinner who's on the rise. I mean, he's playing in all the leagues around the world. He's one of the go-to bowlers, actually. And someone so young in his career, it's great to see. I'm absolutely delighted that he's part of our franchise this year. And again, like Hasaranga, a real match winner.
How do you identify? I mean, you mentioned that you played against Noor. Do you sort of look at a player and think, I've played against him or with him? And does that push you into making that decision whether you want to sign a player or not?
Yeah, look, I mean, there's so much cricket around these days. You get to see so much and so many players perform. And he's someone time and time again, year after year, whether if I'm in a team against him, whether if I'm watching him on TV, he constantly seems to deliver the goods. He's got a unique pace to the way he bowls, obviously with his left arm angle as well, and is a high class operator. So just delighted that he's going to be joining us this season.
You also mentioned that there are 3 Pakistan players. One of them you're also very keen on seeing when the season begins. And there are 3 UAE players also that you've signed. Was there sort of like a conscious decision that this is the composition that you're looking at?
Well, I mean, obviously with the UAE side of things, you have 4 UAE players. It's ILT20. It's a UAE-based tournament, and with the Pakistan players, it's just we were looking for high quality players. We don't just have Pakistan overseas in our agreement. We've got a lot of Afghanis, for example.
Yeah.
There's we've got overseas players from all over the world, so it's a great mix. So there's nothing specific with how we targeted there. We wanted high quality players, and we wanted people who can win games for you, but also the quality of the individual, of the person, is also a very important thing. We did a lot of research on all the potential options we were going for in the draft, and these players fit the bill perfectly.
Also on Shimron Hetmeyer being your wildcard signing, what are your expectations of him in the season? Again,
it's just a high quality player, world class player who wins matches for the teams that he's part of. And I worked with Hetty before. Love how he's takes the game on. Is a very aggressive player, as we know. Got a lot of power, and he can score quickly right from the beginning. But he's also got touch as well. He's not just a brute player. He's a very adept player with spin as well. So again, I've watched a lot of him. I've worked with him a few times, and for him to be with us fully available for the whole competition is an absolute coup for us.
You also talked about that there is you have a great international contingent in the squad. Does that sort of impact how you approach a league? Is that sort of like a very important factor for you in how you decide of your approach should be, your strategy would be?
Ultimately it's the International Cricket League, so there's you have 4 UAE players and the rest are overseas stars, so every team will be the same. The key part for us is making sure that we bring the group together. We've done that before over the last 3 years. I like to think it's an environment where players really enjoy themselves and they feel valued. Desert Vipers over a 4 or 5 week period, and it's something that we pride ourselves on as a franchise, as a coaching group, on field, off field. So that's always our focus. I mean, ultimately, you want to, as I mentioned, when you go to a draft, you look at retaining people or signing players, you look at the whole package. It's, yes, their skill set, what do they bring, what do we need as a side, but also what's their character like. And we've done a lot of research into that. Any players that we're interested in, we do our due diligence. We ring around, speak to various people who might have worked with certain players, and then you make the call during during an auction, and then it's for us, once we're all together, we'll be all together pretty soon in a couple of weeks' time, and then it will just be getting the boys together as quick as we can and have fun. But ultimately, I want guys to play their style of cricket. It's you sign people, you don't sign people to them to play a style of play that they don't like doing. So for the big part of my role is just to communicate their roles and where they might be looking at batting and bowling, and working as hard as we possibly can.
There is also the factor that a lot of with Hasaranga, we already see that there are a lot of leagues happening at the same time. Does that factor in at all in how you approach an auction?
Absolutely. Some teams and franchises might view it slightly differently, but if we can, we always try to get full availability whenever we can on players, because we like to have that continuity. So, it's a real shame that we couldn't get Hasaranga for the whole tournament this year, but it looks like he'll be able to, fingers crossed, be able to come towards the back end. But someone like Hass has been with us, has been a pivotal member of our squad. So if we can get a small chunk of him towards the back end, we'll be pleased with that.
Unlike last season, you will be playing all your matches in the evening. There are no day matches, there are no travel, I'm guessing would be lesser in that way. How do you see that? Does that change anything for you?
No, it doesn't personally. I mean, our location within Dubai is pretty central to all the grounds, so it's not a far journey to any of them. So it's part of our sort of selection strategy in terms of where we stay at the JA resort. The fact they're all night games makes no difference to us.
This will also be a season where you will be playing through Christmas, through New Year's. How do you sort of keep everyone sort of going to not just go for the fancy desserts and everything, because it's right there.
Yeah, no, they're all big boys. They can make their own decisions, but we'll be coming together as a group on Christmas Day. Yeah, Christmas is a great period, for a lot of periods. So we'll be gelling together, but also giving guys a little bit of their own time as well, their own downtime, because a lot of people bring their families during that time. So it's going to be new for us, and we haven't had that during this Christmas period, but something that we'll be looking forward to, and I'm pretty sure there'll be a few people dressed up.
Looking forward to that. All right, thank you so much, James. Thanks so much for giving your
pleasure.
time.
Anytime. Thank you.
Thank you.